But okay. Hello, and welcome to EXR Season 2 F1 Tier 2 for the start of pre-season races. We have a very wet China setup, not China setup, China circuit, as drivers are starting to feel up the track. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting race. So we're on board with Cutler as he's on his first flying lap, coming to an end. Very tough conditions for the drivers, and I'm sure a bit of a surprise to see some rain at such a dry place usually. Yeah, a Cake K9 currently on provisional pole with a 1:44.8. I'm sure we're going to see the times start to tumble down the order, start to tumble down the timing screen, sorry, as the track starts to evolve a bit. There'll be a bit more grip on the circuit as the dry line starts to form as well. There's nothing I can do about that then. I don't know. I mean, we're streaming because everything's working on my end. Oh, Cutler! Just absolutely yeets into the wall. So yeah, that's unlucky for him. So yeah, just more proof of the tricky conditions out there. Explicit just feeling his way through the track at the moment, finding it very difficult on the traction for now. It's going to be who can keep their nerve, who can just find that little bit extra grip, who can be the most careful on the throttle. Has it let you include audio? Okay, well that's sad. I'll try that now. Yes, now. So yeah, we're on board with Explicit, who's set a very decent lap time of 45 flat. A lot of drivers in the 45s, low 45s, maybe into the 44s with Shooterbot. Just half a tenth off pole position at the moment. Yeah, not too many people out on the track, of course. Trickier conditions being on strict, of course, so it's got to be that little bit extra careful just to make sure that they do not... Oh, wow. A 44.7 putting him on provisional pole position. So a very nice lap from him. I'm not too sure whether he's on another one, though. Oh, wait, try leaving the party and join back again for the audio. Yeah, people are definitely finding these conditions challenging. As, yeah, obviously not a lot of grip on the track, a lot of standing water, so they've got to pick their lines carefully and make sure that they can get a good lap in. Mhm. Hello? Alright, I'm back. Cutler on out lap. About to start. Here's the second bunch of flying laps. Some people to look out for, certainly from my point of view. There's going to be a few people in contention for the win here. There's a lot of people in such close proximity to each other. As you can see from qualifying at the moment, the top 10 separated by just under a second, 9/10 separating the top 10 drivers. So it's a very, very close and compact grid. Cutler about to start his second flying lap of the session, up into 7th gear, up into 8th gear now. Very tricky first sector here at China, one that you have to really hook up to get a good lap time. Downshifting rather slowly to keep the car really nice and stable. Trying to stick the throttle down as soon as possible, getting quite a bit of wheel spin there, but manages to keep the car stable. Already 3.5 cents up in the first sector. It's been a very nice first sector from him. Now the very a lot. Don't try me. So yeah, up into 4th gear. No. Going through to 9 of 10. Ooh, a bit of a slide there, but overall keeping it together very nicely. 7.5 tenths up on his flying lap. So yeah, very nice clean lap from Cutler so far. Just has to be careful of the last turn not to invalidate, but if he can keep it on the track, then this is going to be a very nice lap and possibly a pole position lap if he can not bottle it like M Gamer does. Going through turn 15 now, I think it is. Losing ERS deployment, but keeping it on the track very nicely. There's going to be a 44.2. What a lap! Is that a sign? Is that a sign of the track starting to evolve? As Louis T is also just under 2 tenths up on his best time. A few of the drivers really struggling in these conditions, as said in the Discord. So any new people to the stream, make sure to join the Discord. I'm about to put the link into... I have. So yeah, link will be in the chat now that I'm about to put in. So make sure to join that if you haven't already. Of course, this is our first pre-season race and probably the only one just before the start of the season, with our season opener about to be at France next Tuesday. So make sure you clock in for that. But also the rest of our pre-season races for Tier 3 and Tier 1 about to happen as well. So we're going to stay on board with Louis T as he's on his second flight. No, it would have said. So yeah, getting some very nice traction out of the hairpin, I must say. Try not to invalidate the last corner. Get some very nice traction there. And it does a 45.3, so doesn't actually improve. But let's see what Appley is on to. Actually, no, we're going to skip to Explicit, who is half a second up on his fastest lap time. This is going to be brilliant. Try to brake as late as you can. Ferrari just about moving out of the way in time. He's got to negotiate one more corner on this. Is going to be a very nice lap from him. Probably a bit of a safe one, just still feeling the limits of grip. This has been a very tidy lap from Explicit from the third sector. Oh! Just misses out on pole position with a very, very nice lap time of a 1 minute 44.2. That is a cracking lap there, and I'm sure he's going to be pretty happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think Athlete's on his on another lap as well, so let's see what he can do.
Oh, he's full times up.
finding some very, very nice traction there. And he does a 43.9. An absolutely amazing lap time from him. I'm going to skip down to Mikey Morty. Oh, he was not... Oh, that's on an out lap, I think. But yeah, Callum McKenna. Cal MCK50 BWFC, to say in full. Probably not doing the best. Oh, as he spins out! Almost losing the car on the grass. Warming up the tyres, doing a George Russell at Imola, I think it was. So yeah. Yeah, we're going to go on board with...
The XR shooter just invalidated his
with Callum.
He was on a flying
using a lot of the car. That's brilliant from him to get the best amount of momentum through the corners.
Like he's retired. It's not a P8. It's like...
For now.
Yeah. Asterisk.
The Callum on his second or third fly, 2/10 up currently. A bit of a back end slide.
Are you spectating me?
I'm on board with Callum as he's through the middle sector now. Let's see what his middle sector split is going to be as Asterix goes off the track and is retired from the session. 4.5 up is Callum. This will currently put him around P7 or P8 as Abbey retires. He's had enough. He thinks that lap time will be enough and he is retired from the session. Doesn't feel the need to go out anymore. So yeah, Callum taking nice line through there. Oh, almost losing the car. Going into first gear as Explicit retires from the session. As the thing, the track is now starting to dry out. So I think the drivers really want to be going out now. As Callum goes on a 44.8. So Cake K9 guessing in P3 is A Morgan on lap. He's half a tenth down. Let's skip to someone who's further down on a lap. EXR Silver, one of the star performances of last season. I mean, this is only pre-season, but probably not where he would have liked to have been. To be honest, he probably would have liked to have been. So yeah, hopefully he can get a good good lap in. Obviously now new to the wheel, so he's just probably feeling the track out a bit. Currently half a tenth down. So, we're going to skip a bit ahead to someone who's a bit further out on the track than him, which will be A Morgs. A Morgs invalidating his last flyer. We're going to go on board with EXR Shooter. He's down by 10th. So I think it's just EXR Silver. I think maybe almost validates as it's getting a bit too dry for those inters. I think he's up by 2.5 tenths, but it's probably not going to be enough, unfortunately. Losing the back end a lot. The two Red Bulls really struggling in these conditions. Just about keeping it on the track. Oh, as he goes off. Oh, somehow not an invalidation as he retires and accepts defeat. So yeah, I think it's just Big G Jones 071 on a lap as he spins at the snail corner, as I like to see,
It was 2 tenths.
like to say.
Yeah.
You would know anything about that, Gamer? Sorry.
Yeah, for both Red Bulls, that is really poor.
So yeah, Red Bull's definitely disappointing there, but Apolli, definitely one of the star performers there, getting pole by just under 2.5 tenths. That was a very, very impressive drive from one of the star performers of Tier 2. I'm sure he's going to be looking to really use this in his favour to get all the momentum that he would need. So yeah, this is looking good, and I'm sure he's going to get a very nice result if he can continue on the way he is. So that finishes qualifying. A few surprises up there, but a very, very close and compact qualifying. The grid not separated by that much. I heard from the drivers that it's actually going to be a dry race, so that's going to be something to watch out for. So yes, a dry race, as we can see now. Maybe I would hope that there'll be some drama. So yeah, lucky. So I think a lot of the drivers will be using their dry setups, as it was only wet for quali, and using a wet setup in the dry definitely will
I
not
feel like it might be a bit
help you.
carnage. It might be a bit carnage at the first corner.
As long as Apple survives the top. If Apple's in the lead, no race restarts.
It's disappointing for Mikey though. I expected more from him.
So yeah, as we're about to start today's race. So yeah, we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights out. And it's lights out and away we go. Definitely didn't steal that. But Apolli gets a very nice start. But Cutler gets Apolli off the line, and he's already up into P1. A brilliant, brilliant start from Cutler. Going further down, is already a VSC as Mikey Morty gets involved. Gets involved in an incident, and he gets a 5-second, and so does Stan Bubbles.
He's got damage as well.
A bit of people getting into some issues at turn 1 there. So, yeah, quite a few people on the medium, so a bit of a split strategy from a lot of the drivers. A few people in the top 10 starting out on the mediums, such as Explicit, who is looking to go long into the race and then pit for some really, really nice fresh tyres, which will definitely work if there's a VSC. As Amox gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, as we're back underway for some racing. And Apolli is right on the back of Cutler. Hopefully he can get back ahead of Cutler, but if not, then I'm sure he'll be able to make it up. Anyway, K9 right on the back of Apolli now. Oh, 2 people have lost it. Jack Agent Shooter Bar out of the session. I have no clue what's happened there. Surely that must bring out the safety car. I don't know what's happened there. We're going to go on board with Mikey Morty getting a move done on EXR Silver, I think. Going to go right round the outside. But Silver goes back down the inside. But Mikey holds it round the outside. EXR Silver getting nice exit. But Mikey chooses to back off and go into the pits. Surprised there wasn't a safety car there, to be honest. But Explicit doing a fantastic job on the mediums. Up into P4. Right on the back of K9 and Apolli. And Apolli looking to really be struggling out here, as Cutler's absolutely gapped him. So yeah, K9. K9 getting a bit impatient right on the back of Appley now. He's got to pick the time to overtake him rather carefully, as he doesn't want to spin out and get any unnecessary damage. As sweet Swiss cheese says Appley99 Pro Gamer, certainly having an epic Poggers moment in P2 right now. So yeah, make sure you say hi in chat if you're watching, or leave your race predictions down below in the chat. So yeah, well, I want to see some of your race predictions. We've got El Pistolero in chat. Obviously, couldn't make the race today due to some unfortunate stuff that happened, but nonetheless, he's still supporting his teammate from the sideline. The K9 right on the back of Appley still, and Explicit doing a fantastic job. Still in P4. Of course, a thing to watch out for is penalties. Of course, on strict time penalties are quite easy to come by. So as Lasky gets past Bailey G, I've just seen. Right on the back of Stan Bubbles. Oh, getting, probably getting a little bit of damage there, but nonetheless continuing on. Callum down in P7, would have expected him to be a bit higher, to be honest, a bit higher up the grid, but nonetheless he's still doing a decent job. Explicit using quite a bit of VRS to stay with the soft runners, but that's probably not a bad thing to do. So things started to settle down a bit. The gap between Appley and Cutler is sort of stabilising now, going up and down, but keeping around the same distance. He's got to probably try not to battle with K9, or else Cutler's going to absolutely go. Louis T in P5 with a lot of VRS. He's on the soft compound of tyres. He's doing a very, very nice job. As we look at the biggest gainers and losers from the start, Louis T up 6 positions, Lasky up 6 positions, EXR Silver up into P11 already with a very, very nice start to the race. But unfortunately, drives like Mikey Morty and A-Morgs have not had the best of starts to this race, but hopefully they can make it up in the race. Louis T, K9 getting very, very twitchy there. And Louis T is catching up into the back of Explicit. This is going to be a good battle between the two, dipping in and out of DRS range of the Greek driver. Louis T almost losing the back end, but Louis T on softs, whereas Explicit is on the medium, so he's going to be struggling for the start, but when it gets to the latter stages of the race, Explicit is going to be absolutely flying, keeping it lovely within track limits, using all of the track available, which is very nice driving from him. K9 is still right on the back of Appley as Bailey G gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Shush. As we have Radiation Cal in the chat saying that Appley99 is hot. He indeed is, my friend. He indeed is. And apparently Appley is hacking. Okay. Understand it. It's understandable there. Yeah. The Cake K9 down to less than 10% ERS. He's got to be very careful. But Louis T getting the move done on Explicit, going almost side by side through the first 2 corners. He's gone back down the inside. They're having a very nice battle there. But Louis T on the softs. But Louis T getting the better exit. Let's see what he can do. Down into turn 5. Louis T not giving him that much room. He must be a bit annoyed with that. Can you stop talking as much, please? So yeah, Explicit losing a position, but this is not his fight, as he's on softs, and no, he's on mediums, and Louis T is on the soft compound of tyres. If he can just stay with Louis T, he can get dragged along. So yeah.
He is
Yeah, Appley now starting to close in a bit on Cutler. Cutler down to 20% ERS, whereas Appley is on a solid 44%. As there's yellow flags as Asterix retires. Oh, Explicit. VSC, there is a virtual safety car. As Asterix beamed it into the pits, I think. If you look on the track map, I think Asterix has just absolutely binned it into the wall. This is gonna be perfect for the soft runners. They could pit now for hards. Oh, K9, one of the only people to take the gamble, but I feel like he's gonna get a massive undercut on some of the soft runners, getting the full benefit of the VSC. So I feel like this is gonna be brilliant for K9. I feel like he's definitely going to come out ahead. And we have a lot of Appley fanboys in the pits. In the chat, sorry. A lot of Appley fanboying in the chat. Please keep that to a minimum. Joking. No, a lot of fans. Lasky gets the drive through for speeding under VSC. That's not very fortunate for him. But Louis T getting very close back of Explicit. Explicit having a very, very nice race. Comfortably in P3. He's showing some very decent pace. As Lasky retires from the race after receiving that drive-through. Louis T's got to pick his move. I feel like they're going to be swapping sides. Bunch. Oh, and Matt makes a very not funny joke by spamming apples in the chat. Thank you very much for that. As Appley is catching up to Cutler still. So yeah, using a lot of his overtake here. K9 also noting going on the medium compound of tyres, so he's definitely looking to go for a 2-stop. Wait, Ollie, is your audio included? Can you include your audio? Does it give? Okay, good. Yeah. Aries Dark right on the back of Louis T and Explicit. No idea how you pronounce that. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm going to call him Aries Dark or Dark. Yeah. Louis T is right on the back of Explicit, still not finding a way through. Explicit is not losing that much time to Appley. So yeah. I'm turning your volumes down. You're loud.
there's rain, mate. Why is there rain falling?
As Cutler gets a 3-second for track limits, our second or third victim to the track limits around this track. Louis T making a bit of a mistake and almost losing DRS to Explicit. In fact, I think he has. Yeah, I think he's out of the 1 second window, if the deltas are correct. And Aries Dark is now going to be right in the back of Louis T. He's got 90% ERS. He moves to the right and gets the move done using overtake just to solidify move and absolutely just send his way through Louis T. And he's going to be right on the back of Explicit. This is going to be another very, very interesting race, as we usually do. Explicit down to 22%, whereas as Dark has 17%. So there's a bit of a big difference there. Cutler goes into the pits for the hard compound of tyres. So Callum into P4. Right on the back of Dark now. Just a second and a half. So yeah, Appley still out on the softs, feeling that he can go a bit extra. And that time he will gain all the time back at the end as Seamus gets a 3-second penalty for track limits warnings. You have some more Apple fanboying. Oh, yellow flags a big G, I think, goes for a spin. Yeah, explicit is now. Yeah, Ducks actually dropped out of DRS of Explicit, and Explicit doing a very nice job, still closing the gap on Appley by quite a considerable margin. He's going to get a very, very nice overcut on Appley, as Appley will have to pit this or next lap, I assume, to hit for some new tyres. As Appley is still not pitting, he's going out for another lap. This is going to allow Explicit to stay on him for a long time. I'm going to go further down towards the back of the grid as Seamus Me goes completely off the track. Oh! As EXR Silver! I don't know what he's done there, but he's just gone absolutely into the wall. I don't know what's happened there. I'm surprised that's not a full safety car, to be honest. That is crazy. Nobody was in the pits there, unfortunately, to capitalise off that. That is crazy, but this is a chance for some of the drivers to recharge their batteries a bit, which will help drivers like Explicit. So Stan Bubbles in P5 not doing a horrific job. Near the podium. Thank you for the 12 views that we have now. As K9 gets a drive-through penalty, now that is a big change to this race, as he's effectively going to have to 3-stop. He's on a normal 2-stop strategy, but he's going to have to make another pit stop serving that drive-through. So he's actually effectively 3-stopping, which is going to really, really impact his race in a negative way. So that is not the best from him. Oh, Dark and Explicit having a bit of a battle. Explicit's still behind. Who's that into the pits? I think that's Appley into the pits now. Yes, it is. Explicit using a lot of VRS to stay with Dark. But Appley has gone for the medium compound of tyres. If he's trying to one-stop going from softs to mediums, then that is a bold strategy. And El Pistolero says in chat, epic, awesome commentating, Louis. Thank you very much. Sad that you couldn't race today, but thank you for being here in chat. But yeah, it's really going to be interesting, because I don't really know what's going to happen in terms of strategy. Oh, Explicit fighting the car through turn 7, really pushing the car to its limits. But the soft medium strategy for China, I'm not too sure about that. I really don't know. But I think his mediums are going to be very, very bad towards the end of the race. So yeah, but it's going to be interesting. Appley does have the pace, as we've seen. Very nice qualifying and some very nice race pace. But he comes out 5 seconds behind Cutler. That undercut he got, pitting under VSC, he's just really working out for him at the moment. Of course, Appley has the tyre advantage for now, but later on in the race, Cutler's hards are going to be a lot quicker than the mediums. We're going to stay on board with Explicit as him and Dark still going. As Explicit gets a 3-second for track limits. Is he going to make the overtake on Dark now? We're going to stay on board with them. A very bumpy home straight here at China. Is he going to go around the outside? He switches down to the inside, but not going to be close enough to make a move. Yes, he is! He dives down the inside. Oh, making a bit of contact, but some fair racing there. So very nice between the two of them. So these two having a very nice battle. He almost doesn't probably want to battle Dark. He can probably just sit behind, save some ERS, and just save up for an attack later. But he really wants that position. He feels like he has the pace advantage, so wants to go for a move ASAP, which is understandable. Track position can be very key in these situations. But Callum, he's closing into the back of them, so they've got to watch out that they don't fall into the grasp of Callum and Stan Bubbles if they battle too much. So yeah, Dark on about 43% ERS. Getting some very nice traction out of the snail corner, as I like to call it. As some of you guys may do as well. Oh, as there's a Williams off, and that is Louis T into the and into the grass at turn 8 and 9, I think it was. So having a bit of a spin for him, that's unfortunate, as he was close to the back of Apperly. As K9 and Stan Bubbles having a bit of a battle. K9's got to 2-stop. Gets the move done down the inside, but Stan Bubbles with a beautiful switchback. Gets the traction, and that is an amazing move from Stan Bubbles on K9. That is a brilliant race. As there's a VSC. I'm not too sure that's for. I think that's for Louis T. Louis T is out. Explicit has got wing damage then, and he's coming to the pits to change his wing, but a couple of amazing stuff there. So Louis T's retired after a crash at the snail corner, going on to the back straight. K9 was got overtaken by Stan, I think it was, yeah. And yeah, this is as Callum for speeding under VSC. Stan Bubbles getting a very crucial move done there, and Explicit was into the pits and changed his wing. So he's now on hards with a new wing, which is probably holding him back quite a lot. Which does actually lose you a lot of time around here, with having a damaged wing with the tricky middle sector, all mid to high speed corners. So yeah, everyone having either a time penalty or a drive through to serve, mostly time penalties, something to be expected. Just pre-season, of course, so it's not technically a proper league race, but I'm sure the drivers are going to be pushing themselves, finding the limits of their pace to see where they are compared to their competitors. People in chat again, leave who you think is going to win. I think Explicit has a really good chance here of winning. He's had some very, very nice pace, and with that new wing, he's going to be fine. But, oh, Amos goes for a spin, or just lets him pass. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but I think he let him pass just so we can get DRS on that straight. He's on 95% ERS, and he's going to just blitz past Mikey. I think Mikey just going to let him through, just realises that there's no point fighting, as there's just no real point. It's going to lose him time. Oh, Mikey goes for a send up the inside. I'm not too sure whether that was the best move to make. There's yellow flags in sector 2 as Bailey G goes for a big spin. Is that going to be him out? Yes, it is. A safety car! There is a safety car. Stan Bubbles. This is brilliant for him. And Apperly's... Oh, he's come out just behind a lot of traffic, to be fair. But now this is going to be perfect for Apperly. Oh, was Mikey... Did he just hit into the safety car? I don't know. But if the safety car stays out for a little bit longer, then Stan Bubbles is surely going to jump pretty much everyone. On the mediums, he can pit for the hards, and he can get a beautiful, beautiful free pit stop. It'll probably put him just ahead of Cutler, so he'll be P3 if the other two stay out. But Explicit just pissing, just will be P1 if Stan Bubbles pits, which I'm sure he will do. So Explicit will be provisional P1. So as I said, one of my favourites for the race is going to be right at the front. I don't know. Are we going to see some more pit stops, or I don't know, but yeah. As Silver leaves the session after DNFing. As Jack Hobbs is in the chat as well. Hello. So yeah, Stan Bubbles into the pits, which means that Explicit takes over as Dark gets a 3-second And he gets a one under safety car.
I think this is going to be a good fight between Explicit and Dark. This might be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. The top two both on hards. Stan Bubbles on hards, but Appley on fresh mediums as well. Could he be in for a good finish to this race? Lap 14 of 28, just gone over halfway point in this race. And we still don't have a single clue who could win this race. It's going to be definitely a few people that can win this race. No. So let's see the warning status for some of these people. So Explicit is on a penalty and a warning. Aries Dark is on full warnings. Stan Bubbles is served his 5 seconds and wait. Stan Bubbles on the hards now. Yeah, everyone's got a chance to charge their batteries completely. Explicit somehow on 65%. Surely wants to be charging. I think that's a visual glitch. Actually, I don't even tell. Yeah, happily on 100%. Everyone's going to be recharging their batteries. James Mia just in sector 3 now after a bit of a bad race for his standards. I'm sure he'd have liked to be higher. Okay, K9 is pit for the soft. I'm not too sure why he's done that because I don't think that would. I don't think they're going to go to the end of the race at all. But it will. But yeah, this is an interesting period in the race where we just don't really know who's going to win. There's so many different people that could win, and it's just going to be very, very, very fun to see who can come out for the top of it. People like Appley on the mediums, could he win it? Will his tyres give out towards the end, or it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him, and can Explicit pull away from Dark to try and save his race? Of course, penalties are going to play a bit of a part in here, as a 3 second could be the difference between you finishing like first or 20th, let's say, in some cases if a safety car was to come out last minute. But yeah. So yeah, I think the safety car will definitely be in this lap, as the last driver catches up to the back of the pack. Safety car is in this lap as we get the message now. Explicit is in charge of leading the pack under this safety car restart. To get warming up the hards, of course, it can be very difficult to do so as they take such a long time to warm up. So yeah, as Explicit goes and starts the restart very well, not allowing Dark to get anywhere near him for this restart. Oh, Cutler hitting Stan Bubbles as Cutler gets the move done on Appley. So a very nice move from him. No shenanigans after the safety car restart. But Seamus Mia right in the back, and he sends it down the inside. Oh, every Stark and Cutler, both off the track. Cutler getting hit about from everywhere. He's lucky not to have spun. Dark and Cutler still going through turn 7. Getting very close to two drivers, almost giving each other damage. Cutler having to settle for a lesser down position, almost losing the car there. As K9 is round, I'm not too sure what's happened to him there. But at the front, Explicit is bolting it. He's already got an 8/10 gap to Stan Bubbles. As Amos gets the move done on Callum. Oh, Callum almost hitting into the back of him, but doesn't. Oh, Callum almost spinning. Gets onto the grass and loses out on the position for sure. Oh, Mikey, Morty, and Callum getting very close, almost making contact. Let's go and see how they're going to turn 1. Mikey gives up the position for now, as Cutler is surely going to be wanting to absolutely blitz it on this restart, try and make up some of the positions that he lost. And Seamus Mia using a loss of ERS, trying to possibly make a move on Mikey. Oh, and that's Callum off. And Callum out at turn 8. Maybe probably going into the grass there. Didn't quite see that. And that is Callum out of our pre-season race. Only 10 finishes so far. So a lot of people just getting in a bit of trouble there. So as Mikey Morty makes a mistake, and that's allowed Seamus to get right on him. But actually we're going to skip ahead to Appley. He's going to get the move done on Stan Bubbles here, using all of his ERS. He's using everything to get past him. Oh, Stan Bubbles almost turning in on Appley a bit there, but keeping it fair just about. Oh, Appley thinking about diving it down the inside, but chooses not to. Stan Bubbles keeping up ahead. Stan Bubbles has very little ERS to use. As Amorgs has got the run. Is he going to dive it up the inside of Stan? Yes, he does. Is he going to get the move start, I wonder, as he head through turns 2, 3 and 4 now. A very tight and technical section as Stan Bubbles gets a 3-second. So it's only Appley that doesn't have a penalty at the moment. But Appley has lost 2 positions there as Stan Bubbles and Amorgs starts a battle. And this is just allowing Explicit to pull away. This is great for him. He's really going to hope that Stan Bubbles and Amorgs can fight. Of course, the hards are going to be a lot slower at this point, but they're going to come to life towards the end, around lap 26. But they're still right on the back of Dark. Oh, Stan. Getting very close to Amorg to DRS train. Oh, Connor and Mikey Morty getting a bit entangled. Clip it. Can you clip it? Clip it, clip it. Yeah, Mikey going on a move on Cutler here. Let's see whether he can make it stick. Oh, making a bit of contact. Is that going to be some wing damage? I'm not too sure. But Mikey going down the inside, getting a bit of mid-corner understeer. A bit of contact there, but nothing too horrible from the drivers, keeping it mostly clean. So that's definitely within reason. Just a bit of hard racing, as you would say. Isn't helping their cause to catch airy start. A few more laps before the mediums will start to drop off a bit and allow the hards to really show what they're about. But happily, right on the back of Stan Bubbles, locking up a tiny bit. Marky really closing in to the back of Cutler. Is he going to send it? Yes, he does! Sends it down the inside, making a bit of contact with Cutler, but getting the move done on the Ferrari driver. It's explicit. Currently keeping the distance between him and Amon, because he's having a really good race. Just got to manage his penalties and he'll be fine, but he's got to watch out for Apperly. Apperly the only one without a penalty, but so he's doing a very good job at the moment. Oh, his colour into the grass, almost loses it. Mikey, no! Mikey into the wall and he's out! No! Mikey Morty, and he's out of the session. No way! And he's out of the session. And he's out of the race. That is so unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. At turn 7, the typical just turn 7 shenanigans happening. Gutted for the Mercedes drivers. Him and his teammate were on for a really good position. But happily, still right on the back of Stan Bubbles. To be honest, Apple really needs to start making moves whilst his tyres will allow him to, as a few laps time his mediums are not going to be in the greatest of conditions, but if he can stay out of penalty trouble, he'll be well on for a good race. As Cully gets another 3 seconds, but goes into the pits probably to change his wing, I would assume. Or to retire the car.
They can't use it. They can't use it.
So what? Oh, you want what? Oh. No, that one. You mean that one? And you. Why?
Like, he ain't very happy.
Yeah, Abel's just closing into the DRS of explicit weaving over the track just to try and get him out of there. But yeah, aptly getting the move done on Stan Bubbles, but Stan Bubbles again going for another switchback, almost getting the move done. Stan Bubbles clearly the king of switchbacks around here. Both of the drivers have very little ERS to use. But Stan Bubbles gets the move done. Aptly almost trying to squeeze down the inside. Just about gets enough room to make the move. So yes, it's been a very interesting battle between these drivers. It's only going to get better. Yeah, Amorg's now just flirting within that second region of getting in the DRS of Explicit. Explicit probably wants to start pushing more. He's got the ERS advantage. He's got probably the tyre advantage as of a few laps. So he's just going to make everything stick.
that way. Oh, he's using circles.
Apple and Stanbow's getting very close to each other. Again, they're having a whopping battle in this race. It's going to be very, very interesting. Apple losing a lot of time fighting with Stan Bubbles, but Amorgs is right on the hunt. We're going to follow him for the next couple of laps. There's these yellow flags in sector 3. Is Cartler DNF'd from this race, making the 11th retiree from this race. Yeah, Amon's right on the back. He's within that magical 6/10 gap that you need to get the full effects of Slipstream, so he's going to have the full effects of it down into the hairpin, which is turn 15, I think it is. So with ERS, DRS and Rich Mix all engaged, let's see whether Amors can make the move stick into turn 15. Oh! Explicit, is he going to go for the switchback? Yes, he does! Is he going to get the traction? Maybe not. I don't think he does, but it's going to be very close hitting through into the last corner. Explicit gives up the position for now, but will he be able to get Amorgs back? I don't know. Probably going to run out of ERS to try and get him back on this straight, but if he recharges the next couple of laps, he can launch a last lap attack, surely, and get the move done. All he needs to do is stick in the DRS of Amorgs, and he's surely got himself a win if he can save up enough DRS to mount an attack on the last lap.
Jesus
Shit.
Seamus sets the first lap of the Grand Prix on the softs, as I'm sure I think he made another pit stop. Explicit is right alongside Amorgs, heading down into sector 3. Explicit gets the move done, but Amorgs is surely going to get the DRS now, so maybe not the best idea to overtake him, to be honest. But if Amorgs doesn't get the best exit, which he doesn't in fact actually get the best of exit, if Explicit can weave on the straight, he can probably stop Amorgs from launching an attack. But yeah, he's using a lot of ERS just to try and stay ahead, which is probably not the best of ideas, but he's doing the job now. He's still ahead, and he's got some very nice winning chances. Gallon, can you give me a quick penalty check on them both? Stan Bubbles gets another 3-second time penalty for track limits.
So
Aptly
maybe
keeping it
5
super
seconds.
clean. He served it though.
That might not be right.
Wait, how many? How many for Amorgs? Wait. Oh, so basically, sorry, you can't hear this, but we found out that Explicit only has 3 seconds of penalties, whereas Amorgs has 6, and Aptly doesn't have any. So in fact, if Explicit can stay at least 3 seconds away from Aptly, he wins this race. He doesn't need to. Amorgs is pretty much out of it. He can't really get a 3-second gap in 3 laps to Explicit, even if he was to overtake him. And he has a 6-second time penalty, so that is massive for the race. Just clocks that bit of intel there. But Aptly is surely going to be struggling on his mediums now. As you can see, He's fighting the car a lot, using a lot of ERS. He's on down to just 13%. AMorgs on 20, but Explicit has got AMorgs out of DRS, which is exactly what he needs to do. Oh, back in. But got him out momentarily. That's the type of pressure he needs to put AMorgs on to. So that's going to be brilliant for him.
Do you remember what this reminds me of? Explicit. Nike. It's like Nike's
Yeah, AMorgs getting very, very close to the back of Explicit. It's going to be key for Explicit to battle AMorgs as least as possible. And just hope that Appley's tyres start to go off. But either way, I think it's a guaranteed podium for Explicit. So depends what he wants to go for. I'm sure he's going to be going all guns blazing for the win, as I know I certainly would have. Also, knowing him as the person, I know he's very, very passionate for his racing. So he's going to be pushing a lot to try and win this race, as I'm sure he would love to do. But AMorgs is really starting to struggle now. Explicit gets him out of DRS one last time. Hopefully he can keep him there. As AMorgs, I think, he might have got it. I'm not too sure. The delta time didn't really update, but if I was to take a guess, I think he might have just got it, you know. He doesn't have DRS. That is crucial. And Appley is crucially 3.4 seconds behind Explicit. All Explicit needs to do is just keep it consistent and push those hard as I know he can, because he's got that massive tyre advantage. Yeah, AMorgs using everything to stay in the DRS of Explicit, as he probably should be doing if he wants any chance of getting a decent-ish position out of this race. That, as it looked, he'll be finishing probably P5 as K9 sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix after being lapped. Stan Bubbles and Dark now, Bastin. We're going to join them for a few corners or for the rest of this lap, but we're going to stay with Explicit and AMorgs for the final lap, just to make sure that we can get that intense last lap battle. As people here in the comms box with us are saying that AMorgs is losing a lot of time through the middle sector, possibly using a lower downforce setup, so struggling a bit through the technical middle sector. That's going to be crucial. I think Appley is actually using more of a higher downforce setup, gaining a lot through the middle sector. So yeah, Dark is slowly but surely creeping up to the back of Appley here, so he's actually got to be a bit careful. Just under 3 seconds the gap between Appley and AMorgs. He's got to really, both drivers have got to really start to push now. One big lock up for Appley though, and it could be the end of the road for him. Let's see how many warnings he is on. And he's on two penalties. 2 warnings, sorry. So could he get one on this last lap? If he was to get a last lap penalty, could be horrible. But losing quite a bit of time. The gap now 3.5 seconds between Explicit and Appley. The gap now 3.8, 3.9 seconds. Appley starting to lose it a bit. I feel like Explicit is really starting to push those mediums now. This is what we were mentioning earlier. The hards are now starting to become a lot faster than the mediums as the mediums start to drop off. But Appley has now got to really start to work hard if he wants any chance of winning this race. It's going to be a guaranteed podium for him as long as he stays out of penalty troubles. So it's still going to be a very good result. It's just what step of the podium is he going to be on? But Explicit got a very bad exit there. He's going to surely use all of his ERS. Appley, is Appley going to... Oh, it's 2.9 seconds. No, 3 seconds. I don't know who's going to win this. I really don't. It's gonna be so close. Let's go to the leader. 3.1 seconds is the gap. Explicit. He's got one more corner to go. Surely he's gonna have to use everything. Surely he's gonna get the ERS. What's it gonna be? 2.8. No! Explicit loses it on the last sector. Explicit just missing out on the win by just over 1/10. That is gutting for the Mercedes driver. But a P2 is an amazing result nonetheless. He should be very happy with the race he drove. But Apolli just clutching it up with those penalties. That was an amazing race. So stick with us as we will probably be doing some post-race interviews after this race. So stick around with us for a few minutes after the race. Now that was a very entertaining race. So wow, yeah, that was simply amazing. Shame you couldn't hear the other commentators because we had a bit of an audio issue, so they weren't actually able to include the audio on the stream. So sorry about that. But other than that, that was very tense. In the end, Apolli just squeezing enough out, saving just about enough VRS to stay within that 3 second. It was very close at the end, but Explicit just falling short. But yeah, driver of the day must probably be for me. There could be one of the few people, to be honest. There's a lot of people that had a good drive. For me, it's either going to be Stan Bubbles or Apolli. Apolli going from just having a very nice race, pole position, and then a win. But then Stan Bubbles going from P13 to P5. So let us know who you think driver of the day should have been in the chat. But yeah, that was an amazing race. Very close. And you can see the smallest of margins defining the entire race. And of course, unfortunate for Amorg's penalties, just holding him back from a P2 finish. But all the drivers drove very well, considering the complexity of the Shanghai circuit. So, yeah, very good outing for the drivers, of course, just finding their feet. Yeah, just keeping it. Yeah, he does. So yeah, stay with us for a few minutes for some post-race interviews, as we will get some people in from that race.
You're gonna have to tell the commentators because they can't hear up, please,
Oh, it's 175. That is.
Have a good time.
That last lap, I sweat so much.
You're like a second off it at the start.
Yeah. I went into that last lap with like 3 ERS. So I managed to save enough for that back straight.
Absolutely. Did you think you were going to get first place?
I did it at one point when I was the only person top 4 without a penalty and everyone was so close. Then I was in a battle with is it Shooterbot, I think, someone. I don't know now. And that dropped us back, and then I had to catch back up. And after that, I wasn't sure I was going to get there. And going on to the last lap, I thought I had no chance of it, and then suddenly I did. And I was there in like the last turn.
So, Apolli, can you please include your audio, if you can? Oh yeah, we can't. Yeah, sorry, I forgot we have an audio issue, so we literally cannot do post-race interviews. I'm so sorry for that. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Sorry about that. But yeah, that will conclude today's stream. So thank you very much for watching. And if you're watching after the race on Twitch or on YouTube, as it goes out on both platforms, thank you very much for watching. That was an incredible race from my perspective, and I'm sure the drivers enjoyed it as well for the pre-season race. Make sure to join us on Thursday for the Tier 3 pre-season race, also at China, and on Saturday for the Tier 1 pre-season race, also at China. Hopefully we have some more great racing as we saw today. So that'll be it from me and from the rest of the comms box, which you can't hear at the moment. But yeah, thank you very much for